myself Dr. Divya, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So in this session, we will discuss the introduction in continuation for the OBE or the outcome-based education. So in the second part, we will understand the levels of OBE or the outcome-based education, then program outcomes, then by NBA that we have already seen, National Board of Accreditation, then course outcome, CO, and program outcome, PO mapping. So here is the content. What are the levels of OBE? Program educational objectives, then program specific objectives, then program outcomes, then course outcomes. These are the different levels in the OBE method of education. Then program outcomes by NBA, what are proposed program outcomes by the NBA, then course outcomes and program outcome mapping. So what is this mapping? How is it done for the program and course outcomes? Then the levels of OBE, as we have seen, program educational objectives, program specific objectives, program outcomes and course outcomes. So we will go in detail. What is program educational objectives? That describes the career and professional accomplishments, that is the achievements that a program would prepare the graduates. So we have to prepare the graduates for their career and professional achievements within 3 to 5 years of their learning experience, like graduation course. So prepared with an aim that students are able to do in 4 to 5 years after completion of program with respect to professional accomplishments. So this is important because students will be trained to move on to their career with professional achievements. So this should be prepared by HOD or the head of the department in consultation with the faculty members of that particular department. So PE assessment is not compulsory or mandatory by the NBA, as it is quite difficult in the Indian context. So assessors usually do not ask for the PEO assessment, but however, they are about to prepare for the professional achievements for any graduate. So PEOs can be written from different perspectives like career, technical competency and behaviors. So while writing PEOs, do not use the technical terms, as it will be read by the prospective students who wants to join the programs. So 3 to 5 PEOs are recommended. So we will see what are those in detail. The next one comes the program specific outcomes. So this is a statement that states describe the graduates for a specific program, engineering program. It is specific to some particular course. For example, a graduate is in aeronautical. It is the program specific outcome for the aeronautical engineering. So that is the engineering program where the students is getting graduated. So they should be able to do task. So it is also prepared by the HOD, which makes the students to realize the fact that the knowledge and techniques learned in the course have direct implication for the betterment of society in the human. So this will be applicable in their near profession. This could be prepared by NBA. So a list of PSOs written by Department of, for example, Department of Computer Science and Engineering is given here. So what is that? PSO 1. So that will give an understanding, design, analyze computer programs in the area related to algorithms, system software, web design, big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning and networking. So all these topics belongs to PSO 1 or the program specific outcome 1. So the next one is the second one, focus on improving the software reliability, network security and information retrieval systems. So this will give, these are related to the PSO 2. And in PSO 3, make use of modern computer tools for creating innovative career paths to be an entrepreneur and desire for higher educations or higher studies. So these three are the different PSOs that are available, for example, in the department specific to the computer science and engineering. Then comes the program outcomes. So there will be 12 POs. 12 POs or program outcomes prepared by the NBA. So these POs are what the student are able to do immediately after the completion of program. So it is like after completion of that particular program, the student will be able to understand, implement, analyze, as we have already seen in the Bloom's taxonomy. So these should be prepared by the HOD. So they are in line with the graduates' attributes as specified by the Washington Accord, and POs are to be specific, measurable and achievable. So it should be specific to that particular course, should be assessed or measurable and achievable. So NBA has defined 12 POs, and we need not define those 12, but there are all common to the institutions. So in the syllabus, we will be clearly mentioning, and there is a COPO course matrix, COPO course articulation matrix that is to be applied so that all the PO and CO mapping takes place. Then comes the course outcomes. So in the course outcomes, it is prepared by the faculty in charge or the course coordinator, so that the student will be able to do immediately after the course completion. So they will be able to do the course, whatever is being taught in the course, that will be the outcome. Whatever the outcome that we are assessing will be implemented in their careers. So when creating course outcomes, remember that outcomes should clearly state what student will do or produce to determine or demonstrate their learning. Demonstration is like projects, or after working, when they start working. So course learning outcome statements refer to specific knowledge, practical skills, areas of professional development, attitudes, higher order thinking skills that faculty members expect students to develop, learn, master during a course. Master is like they should have the high knowledge and skilling up to that particular course. So a well formulated set of course outcomes is described so that they will be able to successfully accomplish in their particular course. So this is how we define the course outcome, and the learning outcomes need to be concise descriptions of what learning is expected to take place by course completion. So learning outcome is very important. So that is also given in a concise description so that they complete during the course. So developing the course outcomes. So how do we really develop these course outcomes? When creating course outcomes, consider the following guidelines. Limit the course outcomes to 8 to 12 statements for the entire course. Entire course is nothing but the program, whatever the course they are at the graduation. So that will be including individual units, assignments, chapters, etc. So focus on overarching knowledge or skills rather than small trivial details. So focus on knowledge, skills that are central to the course topic or discipline. So we have to focus on the knowledge that is being obtained or the skilling up of our practical application. So create statements that have student focus. So we have to create statements such that they are focused to student rather than instructor or teacher centric. So this is some of the sentence. For example, upon completion of this course, students will be able to list the name of 28 state and 8 union territories. So this is one type. Then versus one objective of this course is to teach the names of 28 states and 8 union territories. So this is two different types of phrasing the course outcome. So in this, the first one looks like the students will be able to list the name of 28 states and union territories. So that is verbs we use during formulating the course outcomes. So developing of course outcomes. Focus on learning that results from the course. Focus on learning the results from the course rather than describing the activities. So we have to focus on learning what they are going to learn, whether they are going to understand, analyze, or implicate, apply for problem solving, so on. So those different verbs has to be considered before we are writing any course outcomes. So incorporate or reflect the institutional or departmental missions and include various ways for students to show success. Example like outlining, describing, modeling, depicting, etc. So we, for example, then single statement saying at the end of the course, students will know, so on. So it is better we write outline or describe some process so that students will understand. So students at the end of the course, the students will learn that particular level of taxonomy, like whether remembering, understanding, analyzing, or implying, or problem solving, etc. So when developing learning outcomes, here are some core questions to be asked ourselves. What do we want students to in the course to learn? What do we want students to able to do? Are the outcomes observable, measurable, and are able to perform by the students? So these are the different questions that we have to put on us so that we will come out with best phrasing statements for the course outcomes. So course outcomes on the course level describes what faculty members want students to know at the end of the course and what faculty members want students to do at the end of the course. So knowing and ultimately creating or doing is the ultimate learning process. So course outcomes have three major characteristics: observable, measurable, and action that is done by students or learners rather than faculty members. So it is ultimately the student or the learning that he has to act upon and create or do some action to that particular course so that we understand that the learner is perfect. So effectively developed expected learning outcome statements should possess all these three characteristics. So any expected effectively learning outcome will have these three aspects. So using verbs is also very important so that we students will understand more easily and grasp. So what is course outcome and program outcome mapping? Course outcome addresses the abilities to be attained by the students upon completion of the course. So upon completion of the course, the student will be able to understand what to do and how to do. So mapping shows the educational relationship between course outcome and the whole program outcome. Program is the course. Program is like BTech graduation program. So course is like a particular specific course, like a subject course. So when we do the mapping, the learner will be having better idea. So it strongly indicates whether the students are able to achieve course learning objectives. And the COs need to link the program outcomes. So it is mandatory, like course outcomes are always linked to program outcomes. Then the course learning outcome formula is students should be able to then behavior resulting evidence. So students should be able to do or analyze or create. So this is the behavior and the result. So that is how we formulate the course learning outcome. So these are some how the well-written course outcomes will be. Describe what you want your students to learn in a course, are aligned with program goals and objectives. Tell how will an instructor goal has been achieved. Use of action words like that specify definite observable behaviors. Then are accessible through one or major indicators like papers, quiz, projects, presentation, journals, portfolios, etc. And are realistic and achievable. They should be realistic and achievable and use simple language. Simple and concise is very important. So the examples of course outcomes are: after successful completion of course, students will be able to critically review the methodology of research study published in scholarly sociology journal. So this is one example how we write the course outcome. Then design, student will be able to design a website using HTML and JavaScript. So this is how we really formulate or phrase the course outcomes. For example, students will be able to facilitate a group to achieve agreed upon goals. Student will be able to develop an individual learning plan for a child with a learning disability. So depending on the different programs that we have in the BTech, the course outcome can be formulated. So this is how we have to write the course outcomes. So the other things are differentiate among 5 major approaches to literacy. So these are all examples that are related to effective examples for the course outcomes. So student will be able to conduct systems analysis of a group interaction. Student will be able to correctly classify rock samples found in. So depending on the subject, we will be describing the course outcome. So the first PO or the program outcome is the engineering knowledge. So apply the engineering knowledge of mathematics, science, engineering fundamentals and engineering specialization to the solution of complex engineering problems. So these are the engineering knowledge, whatever been attained or imparted to the learners, will be used in different ways. Knowledge, understanding and application of scientific principles and methodology, mathematical principles. So this comes when problems are being given in that particular module. One or other engineering disciplines to integrate support study of their own discipline. So this is how there are 3 different POs that are PO1. In PO1 there are 3 different vital features. Vital features are key competences. So these are further used in the calculations for articulations. So next comes the problem analysis. Identify, formulate. So PO2, identify, formulate, review literature review research literature, analyze complex engineering problems, reaching sustained conclusions using first principles of mathematics, natural sciences and engineering sciences. So this is an example of a specific program. So using that we have formulated this, and it includes 10 other key features or the vital key features, key competences. So problem or opportunity identification, problem statement and system definition, problem formulation and subtraction, information and data collection. So depending on the course, only few of them will be applicable. So accordingly, we use these for the articulation. So model translation, validation, experimental design, solution development of experimentation or implementation, interpretation of results, documentation. So these are the different vital features or the key competences that are present in program outcome 2, but depending on the course, we will be using for the matrix articulation. So next comes the third one, PO3, design or development of solution. So this includes investigate. So there are five in this. Investigate and define a problem, identify constraints including environment and sustainable limitations, health and safety and risk assessment issues, understand customer user needs and importance of considerations like aesthetics. Then identify, manage cost drivers, creativity to establish innovative solutions, ensure fitness for purpose for all aspects of problem including production, operation, management, maintenance and disposal. So these are different types of key features or key competences or vital features that are present in program outcome 3. So then in continuation, there are till 10 like manage the design process and evaluate outcomes. So depending on the course, we will be using number of key competences that are applicable to that particular course. So the fourth one is about conduct investigations of complex problems. So this is having again knowledge of characteristics of particular material, equipment, process, products. Then workshop, laboratory skills. So wherever we have a course having the laboratory work, then this will be applicable. And wherever the process or the production or the equipment that is being learned, this is applicable. So understanding the context of engineering knowledge can be applied, for example, operations management, technology development. So whenever there is some learning imparted on technology development, operation management, then third one is also applicable. So understanding use of technical literature and other information sources, awareness of nature of intellectual property and contractual issues like IPR, patent rights and all. Whenever we are learning that, then this key competence is applicable. Understanding of appropriate codes of practice, industry standards, awareness of quality issues. So these are the different key competences that are available in PO4. The ability to work with technical uncertainty. So there is always uncertainty present for any technical work, like in laboratory, whatever we do. So there should be ability to work with the technical uncertainty. So understanding of engineering principle, ability to apply them to analyze the engineering process, then ability to identify, classify, describe the performance of systems, components, analytical methods and modeling techniques. So whenever we are using some methods, analytical methods, this key competence will be applicable. So ability to apply quantitative methods, computer software relevant to engineering discipline and solve engineering problems. So in this also, the key competence 10 is also considered. So that is how, depending on the course, there are different key competences. Out of these 11, there could be only 3 or 4 that could be matching, or all the 11 can be matching to that particular course, depending on the type of course. Then the PO5 includes modern tool usage, create, select, apply appropriate techniques like modern engineering IT tools, including prediction, modeling, complex engineering activities, simulation packages. Whenever if we are reading, we are learning simulation techniques, then this is applicable. PO5 1. Diagnostic equipment, technical library sources or literature, research tools. So in PO6, so PO6, it is the engineer and the society. So this will be applicable when if these are being studied in that particular course. How is it? Understanding of commercial economic context of engineering processes, then management techniques which may be used to achieve engineering objectives within this context. So depending on the exposure of the course, like the engineer whenever is moving to the profession, it is very important, like taking care of social health, safety and legal aspects. So in that case, we will be learning some different techniques and objectives of different engineering aspects. So that will be, in that case, these will be applicable. So awareness of framework of relevant legal requirements. So if we, for example, after BTech, if a graduate want to go for an industry, establish an entrepreneur, then he should be aware of legal requirements and health risk and safety requirements and what are permissions are required for establishing. So that includes personal health, safety, risk and environmental task. So these are different types of knowledge that a student or the graduate should have. So this is applicable. This should be considered if that particular course is teaching all these, or a learner is learning all these from that particular course. The understanding of high level of professional and ethical conduct in engineering. So this is also an important one. If it is really present in the particular course, the PO6 is applicable for that. So whenever the course is having this content, it is mapped, the CO is mapped to this particular PO6. Then comes the PO7, environment and sustainability, understand the impact of professional engineering solutions in societal environmental context, and demonstrate the knowledge of or need of sustainable development. So this is impactful on the socio-economic, political, environmental. So these are the three aspects if we learn in a course that is being mapped with the environment and sustainability. So for example, in chemistry, if we take, there is some topic like green chemistry or natural sources. So those it will include PO7 can be mapped to these both because it is concerned with the environment and sustainability. So ethics, PO8 is the ethics. Apply ethical principles and commit to professional ethics and responsibilities and norms of engineering practice. So these are wherever we are learning on ethics, this is applicable. PO8 is applicable. Comprises of 4 components: ability to make informed ethical choices, knowledge of professional codes of ethics, evaluates ethical dimensions, professional practice, ethical behavior. So these are the different contexts that we have to map along with the CO. So the second one is the stood up for what they believed in and high degree of trust and integrity. Then PO9, so individual and teamwork. So it is also important for any graduate to learn the individual or the teamwork and their purpose. So whenever we are teaching the learning outcomes is from this aspect, the particular course has to be mapped with this PO9. Independence, maturity requiring only the achievement of goals to drive their performance. Self-direction, teams are used during classroom periods, in the hands-on labs and in design projects. Some teams change for 8-week industry-oriented mini project or 17-week design project. Instruction on effective teamwork. Project management is provided along with an appropriate textbook for the reference. And teamwork is important not only for helping students but also completing the assignment. So whenever they are going for any project, teamwork plays an important role in completing the assignments. So students are also responsible for evaluating each other performance, which can be reflected in their final grade. So they should be able to work with all levels of people in the organization. So they acquire more knowledge and get along with others and demonstrate ability to work within a team. So these are the different aspects or the key concepts, competences. Then PO10 describes about the communication. Students should demonstrate the ability to communicate effectively both in writing and orally. So clarity is very important when writing. Grammar, punctuation, references, speaking style, subject matter. So these are the different aspects that has to be taken in consideration. Then PO11 is the project management and finance. So the student or the graduate should have knowledge and understanding on the management principles and also the finance. Then scope, statement, critical success factors, deliverables, work breakdown structure, schedule, budget, quality, HR plan, stakeholder list, communication, risk register, procurement plan. So these are all important when they go for the practical applications or in the career. So they need to have knowledge. They need to have knowledge on all these if they are going in a particular course. So the mapping is also very important so that the student will have an idea that what they are going to achieve. So the particular PO will have a mapping to the CO so that they will have an idea on what they are going to achieve. Then the last one, PO12, it is a lifelong learning. Recognize the need for and have the preparation and ability to engage in independent lifelong learning. in the broadest context of technological change. So learning is a lifelong process because there is always changes and innovations going on in the technology. As a part of BTech student graduation, they have to keep on learning so that they get upgraded in the technology. So it is important to have project management professional courses like certifications and being work on advanced degree, keep current CSC and engineering concepts. So this is in concern with the CSC course that is being taken as an example. So these are the different POs that are applicable for that particular course. So that will be mapped accordingly with the course outcome. So ongoing learning is also important with industry trends and new technology, and have learned at least 2 to 3 significant skills, have to taken up 80 hours training per year. So 2 weeks at least he has to go for any training. So let us go into the deeper one, like how the articulation matrix mapping will be done for the course. So it shows the educational relationship, like level of learning achieved between the course and the program outcomes for a particular course. So this matrix will give an idea how it indicates the students to achieve the learning process or the learning objectives. So that will help students to understand what can be achieved with this mapping. Matrix can be used for any course and is a good way to evaluate the course syllabus. So the next table will give the verbs. So these are the verbs that are used: apply, identify, formulate, review, design, develop, analyze, interpret, design, create, select, apply. So these are different verbs that are used. So if this is the PO and learning level 3. So we will see in detail how they are done. So we need to intentionally map it with the Bloom's taxonomy. So if we take the Bloom's taxonomy, it is from L1 to L4 for theory courses and L1 to L5 for the laboratory courses. So L1 to L6 for mini project and main project. So these are how it is applied for the technical, and for the non-technical from L1 verbs. L1 verbs for CO correlates with any of the PO 6 to 12. 6 to 12 is the non-technical, like we have seen ethics, communication and all. So that comes under non-technical. So these are the verbs that we use: choose, define, find. Like we will be using these verbs before we are planning to create any course outcome. So whenever we are writing the course outcome, analyze, apply this knowledge for so and so. Then analyze, choose, define. So these are the different verbs that has to be used for any mapping or for any course outcome. So that can be mapped accordingly for the PO. So, for example, if we take the CSE branch, course outcome 1 will be mapped with PO 1, so engineering knowledge, and PO 7. So, this course outcome or the module 1 is applicable or correlating with the PO 1 engineering knowledge and 7. So, this is how we like environment and sustainability. So, this is how we map with the CO and PO. So, see, this is the 1, 2 and 7. For example, this has 3 features, 10 features for the problem analysis and 3 vital features in the environment and sustainability. Out of 12, there are 12 program outcomes that are defined by the NBA. So, PO1 will give the engineering knowledge, PO2 problem analysis with the 10 vital features, and here it is 3. Then third one, design and development of solutions. The fourth one, conduct investigation for complex problems. Then fifth one, modern tool usage. Sixth one is the engineer and society. Seventh one that is used in the matrix mapping, environment and sustainability with 3 key features. Eighth one is the ethics. Ninth one, individual and teamwork. 10th is a communication that we have already discussed in detail. Then 11th one is the project management and finance. 12th one is the lifelong learning. These have different key features or competences. So that will be used in different calculation. So this is how we learned the levels of OBE, then program outcomes by NBA, then course outcome or the program outcome mapping. So this is how we have already learned in this session. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.